everybody, it's Tamika. I am here to do a quick tutorial on how I created this goodie flip box that I uploaded. Many of you said you wanted to see the basic of how to put this together, so I'm going to show that to you today. If you haven't checked out the video, this is a embellishment flip book, and it has pockets in here that you can fill. They're half-inch pockets, so you can fit a good amount of things in here. So in here I have sequins and butterflies. In this one I have 3x3 note cards and envelopes, and then in this one I put in some bowls. So as I stated in the first video, you can put a mini album, recipe cards, all goodies, handmade goodies, all purchase goodies, whatever your heart's desire. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to put this together. I am going to be using, which I suggest you do as well, some sturdy cardstock. I'm using 110-pound weight cardstock, plus I'm using pattern paper to cover that cardstock. So what I'm going to show you in the video is how to put it together. You guys can just go from those measurements and layer the top cardstock. So you need 5 sheets of heavy weight cardstock, 8.5 by 11. You want to cut one of those sheets down to 6 by 10 and 1/8, one at 6 by 9 and 1/8, and 3 at 8.5 by 7. So those are the 5 sheets that you will need to put this together. We're going to start out with the sheet that's 6 by 10 and 1/8, and we're going to score at 4 1/8, 4 5/8, 5 1/8, and 9 1/8. You want to grab the sheet that's 6 by 9 and 1/8, and you want to score that at 1, 1 5/8, 5 3/4, and 7.5. Now you want to take your 3 sheets that are 8.5 by 7, and on the 8.5 inch side you want to score at 4 and 4.5. And you want to flip it to the 7 inch side. You want to score at half and 6.5. You want to do that to all 3 pieces. All right, take the piece, the 3 pieces that you have that are 8.5 by 7, and then you see all your score marks. Before you go ahead and fold those over, you want to cut out this little middle square that's in the middle of the bar here, just on the score marks to the score marks. You want to cut that right on out. Make sure you do a neat job, because everything can fold nicely when you do that. And you want to do the same thing to the other side. Go ahead and cut that out. Okay. And then this is where you would put, if you're going to use a punch or something to pull your tab out with for the boxes. In this instance, I told you guys I just used some Fiskars mini pinking shear decorative scissors. You can use regular scissors. I just cut a little piece down the middle, and then I went on one side and met up at an angle and met up to the tip. And I flipped it over, and I did the same thing to the other side. Just cut at an angle and met up to that tip. So then you have this. This is what they're going to use to see, and then this is the point where you add your little window, if you're going to add a window to it. Again, you guys know I use these self-laminating sheets. I'm not going to do it now, but this is where you cut a little piece off and you do the inside, the negative side, not the good side, and or you can use pattern paper too, and you cut a little piece off and you adhere it to your opening of your V there. So this is just a sample, so I'm not gonna do that right now. And then you want to fold over your edges, and you definitely want to give them a good press with your bone folder. Get a nice crisp edge. Do that to both sides, and then fold your other score marks and press them. Okay, and then you want to glue them together. And just for me, I pay attention to, you know, what side I'm folding it on. It doesn't matter, but you don't want one of the edges poking up on one side and then the other side you got the, you know, it's just a little bit of my OCD, I guess. So I'm just gonna glue this with hot glue gun. On the original one, I used double-sided tape. So I'm just gonna line that up. You can work it with the hot glue gun. It doesn't matter. As long as you know that it's a one-time deal. You can't pull it up and start over. So make sure you get it lined up as best as you can. So add the hot glue and then seal that in there, just like so. So then you want to do that to the other two pieces. And here are the other boxes. So you want to, they're all together, they're all even. You want to go ahead and set those aside for now. All right, go back to your other two pieces, and then we're just going to fold over all those score marks on all of the pieces, nice and crisp. So these are the papers that you cut. When I did mine, I just cut them down 1/8 of an inch smaller and added the pattern paper. It adds for extra sturdiness on your projects, and it looks cute when you can use all of your paper that you purchased. So I just like it to be super thick and sturdy, which is what it is, because this is 110-pound weight, and then I added that thick Prima paper on top. So you want to add the paper to your base paper first before scoring, then score them all together. Otherwise, it looks frumpy when you score this and then add the pattern paper. It doesn't look right. So take your piece. This is the, make sure this is the longer piece, the 6 by 10 1/8, and then here is the 6 by 9 1/8. There's an inch piece right here, and then on this end there's an inch piece. We're just gonna layer those right on top of each other. And I'm going to use tape, double-sided tape for this one, because I don't want it to, I didn't use glue on the other one, but I definitely don't want to use glue on this because it'll buckle, and I'm not fast enough for it to catch it in time to not buckle. So just want it to be super flat. So I'm going to take off this extra. I'm just using 1-inch double-sided tape here, and I'm going to add these two pieces together. So I do suggest that you use, you know, I'm a glue gun fan, but I do suggest that you use dry tape for this. So then this 1-inch piece is going to go on the end of this 1-inch piece. I'm just going to fold it over and line up my corners so they can match as perfectly as they can. And then push that over with my bone folder. So you should have one continuous piece. There's 2 score marks here. There's a larger one and a smaller one, and then there's 2 chunky ones on the right. So you can just get where I'm at with direction. And the only thing left to do, because of course you want to, if you're going to layer paper here, that's fine. I didn't layer paper. I left the inside blank, and all I did was go back and add cardstock to fill in the gaps. So it looks like I layered paper. See? I just added some cardstock to the inside of the gaps. So I used cardstock for my, pattern paper for my envelopes, but I filled in these gaps so it can look like I laid the back with cardstock, which I didn't, because I don't want it to be too bulky. At this point, you just need to lay down your envelopes, and I am just going to add like a dot of glue on the back of this so I can show you guys. Since I'm not keeping this, I'm not going to add ATG tape to the back. So this is how this was. You want to lay your envelope close to the edge, the top edge, not the score mark. It should line up. It should give like a little tiny tenth of a cushion, but it should line up right with the top there. Okay? Then take your second envelope. Again, you can put your holes, your openings, wherever you'd like. Back, front, totally up to you. This envelope, we're going to skip 2 spaces, and we're going to put this one on the next large space. I mean, you can see, because you don't want to put them on the score marks. There's a big 4-inch space here, so you can't go wrong with placement. All right, and then you want to take the last one, and it's going to go, you're going to have a larger space and then a smaller one. It's like 1 inch and then a 1/2 inch. And then you want to butt that one up right up against that last score mark and put that on there. So you should have pocket, space, space, pocket, space, space, pocket, space, space. All right. So then you want to go ahead and just fold it over. You got to give it a little, give it a little nudge. Make sure all your things are folded over nicely. That and that. Done deal. You can add your Velcro here. This is, you see how different this is in feel? Well, you can't see because you can't feel it, but this is a little bit looser. I mean, it's still sturdy cardstock, but once I layered that extra paper on here, it's just sturdy as all get out. Really nice. So be sure to try to, layer it and then add pattern paper to it as well. So that's going to go there. Again, you can put the Velcro there. So I'm just going to pretend that this is all filled and is thick. It's going to be a bit wobbly because there's nothing in the boxes, but not very wobbly. I mean, you want to use sturdy cardstock. So what I did was add the pattern paper, so all this is covered. And then the next thing you want to do is just make your belly band. All right, try to use some of your leftover cardstock. So I cut down the 8.5 by 11, 110-pound weight, down to 2-inch strips. All right, and then I'm just going to add hot glue around the perimeter of the bottom half, about 1 inch up or so. Let's see, about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to lay this as neatly and as evenly as I can on top. And then I'm going to smash it with my bone folder to make sure it gets an even coverage as possible. All right, then we have this piece put together. So once you get all of your, get your goodies in there or what have you, just want to make sure that your goodies don't exceed the 1/2 inch in thickness. Like when I was making the first one, I was just going crazy with embellishments. I'm like, oh, I'll make some little furry tulle embellishments, and then these things wouldn't fit because they were too thick and they wouldn't fit in there. So I just have extra embellishments to keep, but nonetheless, make sure that you stay within that mark. And then you want to go ahead and wrap this around, not too tight. You want to give it a little bit of give, so it can go up and down. And then, so there isn't a measurement. I mean, I guess I could, but I mean, it's based on, just your pressure where you want your belly band. And you kind of crease it, okay? Make sure you get it. It's good to do this at the end after you've put your embellishments in. That way because otherwise you're just kind of squeezing it and then your belly band won't be as accurate. So it's good to do this after you're done with putting all your stuff in and you're ready to decorate the cover. So once you do that, you got it all measured out. I just added some hot glue gun to the end strip here, just like so. Hot glue gun. I added some hot glue. And then I flipped it over and cut off the extra. And then I took another piece of cardstock and cut it down 1/8 of an inch, so 1 7/8 inch, and covered the belly band. So that's what this looked like. You see how much space is in there? So easy peasy, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you do try it, please tag me on Instagram. I love to see you guys creations and all the things that you make. So I would love to, or YouTube or Facebook or what have you, wherever you follow me. If you follow me, tag me and let me know that you made it. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. If you haven't checked out the previous video, I will put that down below. All right, bye.